Hey, what's going on, guys? Today is July 3rd, the day before July 4th, and today I want to talk to you about whether is there a good time or a bad time to release content, to release a podcast. Tomorrow is July 4th. Conventional wisdom will tell you do not release content, do not send out emails, do not release podcasts, don't do any major announcements, don't do any major releases on holidays and weekends because no one is online. And I'm going to tell you about why I used to believe that, and now I no longer look at that as a factor in whether I release content or not. So I've always, thought about that, right? I've always thought, okay, what is the best time to release content? Is there a bad time to release content? And for obvious reasons, right? Because I feel like if I'm releasing content when no one's paying attention, I wasted opportunity to on that piece of content. I wasted time creating that content, creating that email, creating that podcast. I wasted time releasing content because I could have released it on a day where I could have gotten more eyeballs on it. And I always banked on, oh, maybe there was a piece of content, maybe there's a podcast, maybe there's an email that I put out that would change things for me, that would change the game for me, that would move the needle for me, that would give me success. And that makes sense, right? Because we see a lot of times in the entrepreneurship world, in the news, these success stories, and a lot of times we highlight the moments where they're in the game and all of a sudden they zig when they should have zagged, and all of a sudden they come into all these riches and everything changed for them, and all of a sudden they have huge growth. And it's a very common story that I hear, that we all hear, right, about these overnight successes. And obviously we know that there's no such thing as that. It all comes from many years of work that culminate to this moment. So I was thinking about, man, should I release content tomorrow or not? Should I put out an email tomorrow or not? Or should I release one of these Instagram lives I'm doing almost every day now? Should I do one tomorrow? And I started thinking, like, okay, maybe I should schedule my email a certain way so that it doesn't go out tomorrow. Maybe it goes out Friday, but then Friday is also a day where people are traveling, and then you get the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe I don't release anything then too. Maybe I should wait until Monday before I put out anything. But then Monday might not be good because everyone's coming back and there's so much to consume. So I had a dilemma, right? I was starting to think, like, okay, what is the best time to release? And then I had this realization that maybe I'm thinking about this the wrong way, and maybe there is no such thing as the best time to release. Well, let me rephrase that. There is obviously more optimal times to release, but the attitude that I had to change was that I got to stop thinking that there is a one shot, right? There's a make or break moment, that there is a piece of content, whether it be a podcast or whether it be an email or whether it be some kind of new product release that's going to change the game for me. I got to start thinking about this as a game of inches. How do I create a routine that will lead me towards success? How do I create a system that will lead me towards success? How do I get into the habit of doing certain things that will guarantee my success? And you'll be more likely to reach your goal. I'll be more likely to reach my goal by creating the habits that will guarantee, that walk me towards success, much more than just trying to bank on these one-time shots at reaching as many people as possible, or putting out content that's going to go viral. That's not a good strategy, right? Those are exceptions. I want to follow the rules to success, which is to build the habits that will walk me towards success. So I started thinking differently about it. I stopped thinking about, is there a best time to release? So I'm going to release an episode tomorrow. I'm going to send an email tomorrow because I'm going to stop thinking about, again, these one-shot opportunities. Instead, I'm going to try to think about establishing a pattern, establishing a routine, establishing a habit, regardless of what time of year, regardless of the holiday, regardless if it's a weekend or not. I want to establish a habit of producing content. I know that if I keep on producing content, I will learn my story better. People out there that are listening, that are watching, that are reading are going to learn my story better. I want to reach more people over time. That's the goal. It's not about trying to get this one shot and hitting out the park. It's about getting as many bats as possible, getting up to bat as much as possible. So I think that's a very important thing to keep in mind, is like, don't try to hit out the park. Try to think about how do I establish myself a habit to follow, right? So I got a question here from Caroline. Says, so I'm working on a podcast for moms of kids who play sports. I'm thinking it would be best to put it out the first part of August because that's when sports really get going. So that's an important point. I think that when you are trying to schedule content when you're trying to create a podcast, when you're trying to create something that you're putting out, producing content, it's more important that just to get going, because the things like it's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be the best content when you start putting out there at first. It's really important that you just get in the habit of producing, and by the time it becomes important, in August in your case, you're going to have months, at least a month, right, of practice of putting out content to ramp up to it. So I think there's no better time to start than now. I think that's the biggest culprit that I hear a lot from a lot of people that are thinking about starting podcasts that don't get started, is that they are waiting for the perfect time. And there's going to be a perfect time, but you want to get the practice, you want to get the at bats, you want to get up to bat, right? You want to be able to get the reps in to lead up to that. So yeah, I started releasing podcasts before anyone listened, and I got a lot of practice that way. So by the time it mattered the most, I had a lot of practice in, and it just became part of my routine. And when you're trying to build up to a moment, like you're saying, you're getting nervous. You're thinking, this is my shot, this is my only chance, my one only chance to get up to it, and trying to hope and kind of pray that this will be the shot. But you've established routine, then when it comes around to it, you're just doing what you're already doing. You're doing what you expect to be doing already, and you're just going to become muscle memory by then. That's what you want to do, is be able to build the routines, build the habits, so it becomes muscle memory, so that you are creating the habits of success again. There's no such thing as the one shot that'll make or break things. It's only about creating these habits. And this funny thing that I looked at a statistic recently that said that there's 750,000 podcasts out there, and only 15% are still live. And another statistic that was that if you make it past, I think, 10 episodes, you've made it past more than, I think, 95% of podcasters out there, because most people give up because they don't try to establish this routine. Like, that's the most important thing, trying to establish a routine of producing content, releasing weekly or whatever cadence that makes sense for you, and trying to establish that daily weekly habit of getting in there and just recording. I think that's important. And when it comes time where the content will have the most impact, in August in your case, you're going to be ready for it. So I hope that helps answer your question. And if anyone else out there, wants to learn more about podcasting, make sure to grab the free book. It's over at podcastingsecrets.co. And the biggest revelation for me along this thing, again, is understanding that there is no one shot, which is a relief, right? It's a relief that you don't have just one chance to make this work. And this is about ignoring the timing and instead focusing on what you can control, which is about you showing up every day, showing up every week, whatever makes sense for you when you're releasing a podcast every week, or you're producing content every week, whether it be a podcast, a blog, an email. It's about just showing up, and that's what you can control. You can't control the time, you can't control when people show up, but you can control your part. And then it's important to get that rolling as soon as possible. Otherwise, you build up this lot of tension about when it gets started. So hopefully that helps you out. That's what I learned, is about, don't worry about the timing, worry more about building the habits, and just get started. So that hopefully that helps you out. And get podcastingsecrets.co, grab the free book, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Again, happy July 4th, and you'll see me tomorrow, because again, I'm not worried about timing. I'm going to just get in the habit of producing content.